Welcome everyone. Today we are gonna start seated with another practice that is seasonally appropriate for colder weather. Particularly cold weather around short days and long nights, as we are just shy of New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, all that stuff. So feel free to bring yourself to a comfortable laying down position. You can either lay down in Shavasana like this, with arms out by your side, legs down the mat, or you can bend your knees, bring your soles of the feet to the mat and let your knees knock together like this. Or if you're feeling very flexible already, or you'd like a hip opener already, I do recommend blocks for this. You can take a block on either side of your knees, draw the soles of the feet together. Here, I'll take off my socks so you can see my feet easier. Draw the soles of the feet together, let the knees open wide, and then come back to a laying down position. From here, whichever position you're in, just start to see how your breathing feels. You can rest your hands on your belly. You can rest one hand on the belly and one hand over the heart. You can rest your hands down by your sides if you don't want to rest your hands on your body. But I do recommend putting your hands on your belly, at least one hand, and seeing how your hands move as you inhale deeply and exhale completely. Letting the hands rise and fall with the belly as you inhale and exhale. From here, take the pads of the fingers of both hands and gently find that area right in the center of your chest where the ribs split. So it's at the bottom of the sternum. I'll show you real quick, coming up to the camera. If my ribs split here, the area is right here. I'm going to take the pads of my fingers into that area and just gently start pushing and rubbing little circles there. If it hurts to push here, you can just chafe the fingers on this area. But if it doesn't hurt, or it's just a mildly unusual feeling, feel free to explore there. Really pressing in gently but deeply. Maybe finding that you can press in a little deeper on the end of the exhale. Massaging these little circles right at the bottom of the sternum here. And it really doesn't matter if you're massaging in the clockwise direction or counterclockwise direction, because we're actually going to switch directions and start massaging the other way. Breathing deeply, rotating your fingers into that xiphoid process. That's what this area is called. Connected to the heart center. And then when you're ready, you can start letting your fingers migrate as they massage, still going in little circles. You can let the fingers migrate under the ribs on the left side. So find the bottom of the ribs on the left side of your chest and allow those fingers to slowly work their way down to the left edge of the body. So following the ribs, trailing down the cavity to the left side. If you feel anything hard or tight here, just be gentle with it. Examine it, palpate it. See if it's excruciating to press there or if it just feels like There's some resistance, maybe some air in your intestines that you want to move along. And then when your fingers get down on the left side of your body here, below the floating ribs at the bottom of the left side of the chest, feel free to take your left hand like a lobster claw, like a C shape, and just gently squeeze the left side of the body. So just gently grabbing along the left side, wherever you can, even if it's just hunks of flesh. That's all we're going for here. Gentle massage for the left side of the body. Possibly you're feeling some tight muscles through the obliques here, the abdominal muscles on the sides. And then we'll bring our fingers back together, the pads of the fingers together, pressing in little circles again, this time moving down to just above the left hip bone, iliac crest. That's that ridge, that fin almost, that sticks up on our left side here. So just gently pressing in here. This is why we're happy we did not eat anything before this practice today, right? So as you let those fingers press in above that left hip bone, feel free to let them kind of migrate to just above the pubic bone here. So if you have to urinate, you're in a pickle because we're pressing on the bladder and the lower abdomen, just above the pubic bone. And then you can let those fingers massage their way over to the right side, hanging out just above the right iliac crest, the right hip bone. Gently pressing in here. If you encounter anything hard that's not your hip bone, feel free to smooth it out. And now we'll repeat that C shape with the right hand, making a little lobster claw here with the right hand. And we'll just take the right hand to the right side of the body, gently squeezing along where the liver is. We don't have one on the left side, but we sure as hell have one on the right. So just squeezing here, massaging deeply. And then from here, finger pads can come back together and we'll go back to pressing in and massaging those little circles, this time the bottom of the right ribs. So just below the right ribs on the right side of the body. Walking those fingers up along the right ribs towards the center, back towards where we started. And then here we are, right back at the top. It might be a lot easier to get much deeper with the fingers now that we've done all that. From here, feel free to smooth the hands down the belly, just wiping off any energy, any stuck energy that might still be there. Take care not to press on the navel, but you can press along the sides of the belly, and you can take your thumbs and smooth them along right next to the navel, just smoothing down the intestines. Maybe feeling your pulse in your belly as you do this. And then we're just going to take the palms of the hands and smooth circles on our bellies in a clockwise direction. If 12 o'clock is my pubic bone and 6 o'clock is my xiphoid process, or the tip of my sternum. So I'm going up the right side, across, and down the left side. Feel free to take the time to do it. And then from here, we'll just stretch the arms long above the head. You can, if your knees are open, you can draw them back up so they're pointing at the ceiling, and then draw them in towards your chest. And then feel free to rock side to side for just a second. Rocking on the sternum, or rocking on the sacrum, back and forth. Let's warm up the ankles just a little bit as we sit here. So feel free to hold onto the knees if you like, or if you want to start easing your way into what might become a somewhat intense abdominal workout that we're going to do later, you can bring your shins parallel to the ground, knees come together, and knees are right above the hips here. So 2 right angles. Draw the knees together and then draw little circles with the feet. So we're just rotating through the ankles here, warming up the ankles. You want to do knees. And then when you're ready, we'll switch direction, going the other way. Then from here, you can draw your knees towards your chest and rock side to side again for just a second. And then either keeping your hands under your knees or bring your legs back to the same shape. We're going to move this rotation a little bit higher.
So now we're going to take our feet together, trying to keep the knees together as best as we can as we draw a big circle with our feet. We're trying to draw a big circle in the air. And then when you feel like it, switch the direction that you're drawing that circle. And then you can pull your knees into the chest. Just rock a little side to side.
From here, let's take this up to the thighs and the hips. So feel free to keep your hands on your belly here, or you can interlace the fingers of both hands, making a little basket with our hands here. And rest the back of the head in this basket, lifting the head off the ground a little bit, but really use your upper abdominal muscles to lift the head here. So I'm not using my neck, and I'm not using my arms, but it's really those muscles right below that area where we first started massaging. So right below the sternum here. So what we're going to do is draw the knees in towards the chest, open the legs wide, take the knees down, and then back up again. So we're getting rotations from the hip sockets now. Just opening the legs out and drawing them back in. Each leg is mirroring the other leg. So we'll do a few more of these. And then go the other way. Switching directions. So this time, knees go down, out, and up. And then from here, let's draw the knees back and towards the chest again, rocking side to side. This time, feel free to put the soles of the feet flat on the mat, arms out in a T, and we'll just let the knees rock all the way from one side to the other. If you need to move your blocks from earlier, feel free. Arms. Some prone arming.
So you can bring your feet back to center. You can just let your legs relax down the side of the mat. Let your arms relax long down the side of your body. We're going to lift them just an inch off the ground. Take the thumbs, tuck them into the palms, curl the 4 fingers around, and just start rotating with long arms. So we're getting this stretch all down the arms. If you're tucking your Squeezing your thumb, you should feel this in the forearms. Keeping the arms long, let's take them up in front of us and overhead. You can take them out to the side. Just make sure you're clearing the floor and back down. And then when you get down to the bottom here, change the direction you're circling the wrists, and then take the arms out to the side, overhead, down in front. And then you can just open out the arms, flap them out a bit.
Let's do one more thing, laying down here with our arms. Let's take our arms out into a T, just straight out from our shoulders, palm face up. And then let's do the same thing with our hands, where we take our thumb in and then wrap the 4 fingers around the thumb. And then from here, let's draw circles on the ceiling with our with our arms. I'll show you what it looks like sitting up. Brian will show you what it looks like laying down. I recommend trying this laying down. So you're basically doing this laying down. And when you're ready, we'll switch directions, going the other way. And then you can let your arms flap out by your sides, maybe turning the palms up and down, and then maybe turning the feet towards each other and away from each other as you do this. So rotating as you lay here through the hip sockets, through the shoulders. And then if you feel comfortable doing this, you can gently turn your head side to side as you lay here, rocking and rolling. And then feel free to wiggle and shake on the ground. Skeletal shaking is something that can happen prone, maybe rocking the hips side to side or up and down a little bit, or back and forth through the body. Remembering that our body is like 80% water or something crazy like that. Allow that water within you to slosh and jiggle. And then from here, we'll just bend our knees, rock over to one side or the other, press into the hands, coming the hands and knees for just a second. I'll turn around so you can get a good view of me. And then for our hands and knees, let's just do a little bit of cat-cow, just warming up the spine. Inhaling the belly down, exhaling the belly out. Inhaling, belly comes down, tail is up, head is up. Exhaling, belly comes up, tail comes down, head is down. Remember that your neck is an extension of your spine. So as you inhale and look up, lengthen through the neck. Exhale, looking down, lengthen through the back of the neck now. Inhaling, looking up. Exhaling, looking down. Inhaling, looking up, and then on your next exhale, bump your belly and ribs out to the right side. So making a circle as you exhale, the belly comes up. Then inhale, bump your ribs out to the left, belly comes down. So we're just drawing little circles on the inhales and the exhales. And don't forget about that neck here. Feel free to let the neck also draw circles as the rest of the spine jump ropes between the top of the skull and the tail. So just inhaling the belly down, exhaling the belly up as you draw a great big circle with your navel. Next time you inhale, switch directions, exhaling up. Inhaling back down. Drawing that circle with your belly the other way. You teach thread the needle. Allow the whole body to get into this, even if it means bending the elbows and drawing the shoulders down as you come around.
Now we'll come back to center. We're gonna do something to open up the shoulders a little bit. So let's spread our fingers really wide on the right hand, really root into the right hand. We're gonna turn to the left, reach up to the left, reach up towards the sky. And then on an exhale, we're gonna bring that left shoulder to the mat. Thread the needle. So we're taking this arm underneath of this armpit and then bring the shoulder to the earth. You can bring the left ear to the earth. If you're having a hard time making the reach, a block or a folded up blanket can be a friend here. So this might be as far as you want to go today in your shoulder opener. If you want a little extra, you can take that top hand, put it on top of the bottom hand, interlace the fingers, and then try straightening that top arm. That'll give you a little bit more of a twist. Also, if you like, you can also reach that right arm up towards the sky, bring it back down. Maybe you find the outer upper left thigh. Is keep opening to the right, no matter where you've stopped on this, on your journey here into this twist. If you have your arm all the way wrapped around like this, you can inhale it up towards the sky. We're gonna exhale it down right next to your face. We're gonna press into the face as we come up, inhaling, twisting over to the left again. Reach the left arm up towards the sky. Exhale down the tabletop. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So spreading the fingers really wide on the left hand this time. We're going to turn to the right, reach up towards the sky with the right arm, and then we're going to thread the needle. Take that right arm underneath the left armpit, coming down to the right shoulder and the right ear. Use a block or a blanket if you need to. If you want a little extra twist, you can take that top hand, put it in the bottom hand, interlace the fingers, try straightening the top arm. You can also inhale that left arm up to the sky and then exhale it down. Maybe you can find the outer upper right thigh with that left hand. Then to come out of this, you can inhale the left arm up to the sky. Exhale it down next to your face. We're gonna inhale, coming up, pressing into that left arm, reach that right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, right hand comes down, back into tabletop.
From here, I am gonna bring us to standing for just a little bit, but then I promise it will get easy because we'll sit back down and do some abdominal stuff. So maybe not too easy. So from here, feel free to tuck the toes. We're gonna lift the hips up, coming back into downward facing dog, just hanging out here for a minute, briefly pedaling one heel down and then the other, maybe bending one elbow and then the other, making sure not to put too much pressure into your hands and ignore the feet. Let's bring it back and kind of put the pressure equally between hands and feet here. Gripping the ground, bending the knees as much as you need to get a really nice long spine. Tilting tail up towards the sky. Oh, yes, and stretching those hamstrings, milking them, getting everything you need from this position because this might be the only time we're in it today. And then when you're ready, look forward towards your hands and we can jump, step, float, levitate, walk, hop, perambulate, whichever way is easiest for you to come here to your forward fold. Knees can be bent or straight. You can have blocks under the hands if you want, if that's more comfortable for you. Lean a little forward, maybe coming onto your knuckles. Let your knuckles scrape the ground. Maybe lean a little back. Hands can come to the shins for a second. See how kind of awkward that feels. And come forward again. Folding back down.
And when you're ready, we'll roll all the way up to standing, maybe shaking it off a little bit as we stand. And just allow yourself a good shake, because nothing like standing up and bouncing. You can bounce in a chair and you can bounce on the ground. But when you bounce standing up, there's something special about that. You've got your whole body's weight shaking, strengthening your bones. So feel free to wag an arm, wag a leg, take the feet nice and wide and shake everything downward. Or if you are just feeling so sluggish and you've got a lot ahead of you today, you could hop in place a bit, really building up the energy. How funny do we look? Whatever feels best. Let's do a little bit of shaking and twisting. We'll do a little bit of sort of Hati Chakasana style twisting. So you can let the shaking come to stillness. And what this looks like is one hand comes towards one shoulder, the other comes towards the other. So as I twist to the right, my left hand touches my right shoulder. As I twist to the left, my right hand touches my left shoulder. So we just go back and forth like this. You can use the momentum of the extended arm to really take you side to side. And if you wish to time this with your breathing, you can inhale to one side and exhale to the other. Or you can do a double time. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Up to you. No need to do double time. I'm not even bothering with it. I just vaguely described it after all. And then from here, allow the hands to loosen. So you're swinging the arms side to side, maybe coming up onto the toes of one foot as you do this. We're just loosening up the arms for a second. It's like we're flinging our arms side to side. And then just shaking them down again. Getting all of your yayas out, as my sister likes to say. All your wiggles and everything. And then we'll come right back down again for a little bit of abdominal strengthening. So when you're ready, feel free to bring yourself back down to lying on your mat. No super elegant way, just however is easiest for you. And then from here, I'll start us off. So 2 choices. We're going to be doing a lot of sort of lift up the legs and move them around things. So you can either have your hands down by your sides like this, or you can bend both knees, lift the hips, put the soles of the hands, put the palms of the hands under the hips, and then rest the hips back down on the top of the hands. From here, we're going to draw our legs up only about 10 degrees off the ground and just let them open and close. Open and close. We'll do a few more of these. You can inhale, open, exhale, close. And then from here, legs can come down. Next one is yogi's choice. You want to teach it? Are you either doing kicks or both together?
Yeah, so we're going to do leg lifts. Your option. You can either do one leg at a time or both legs. You can also start one way and then go to the other way. Either way, we're going to lift one or both legs up on an inhale, slowly inhaling, exhale, slowly lowering. On the next inhale, we'll raise the other leg or both legs again. Exhale, slowly lowering. So inhaling, raising, exhaling, lowering. Slower you go, the more challenging it gets. So choose whatever level you want to challenge yourself at today. And listen to your body. If it doesn't want to be challenged so hard, it'll be okay for it to be that way. And if it does, go for it.
Only the knees.
Hmm?
Knees.
Yeah. And then so you can keep going with the leg lifts like this, or if you want to get more challenging with it, as you inhale the legs up, separate them into like a figure V. So we're like making a V, inhaling up,
A Roman numeral
exhaling
5.
down.
The figure 5.
You want to take the next one?
And then just draw the legs straight up for a second. I'm gonna grab behind my thighs here and just draw my body up for a second, making sure my legs are straight-ish. And then lengthen out the body. From here, I'm just gonna come up using my upper abdomen again. So that bit of abdominal muscle right below that split in the ribs. I'm gonna bring up my torso with that and reach down with one hand and then down with the other, reaching side to side, dare I say, leisurely. Just back and forth here, strengthening the obliques, the aforementioned obliques on either side of the central band of muscles in our abdomen. Again, you can time this with your breathing, inhaling to one side, exhaling to the other. And then from here, we'll come down, we'll draw our knees in towards our chest and just rock side to side for another second. Catching your breath, as the case may be. And then we'll take the legs right back up again. Maybe grabbing behind the thighs again to lengthen through the legs, coming back down. This time, I'm going to take Vajra Mudra. This is Thunderbolt gesture for the hands. I'm going to interlace the fingers and then uninterlace my pointer finger and my thumbs. And I'm going to rest my thumbs right against the sort of bottom knuckle of my pointer finger like this. So inhaling, I'll point up at my toes. Exhale and come down. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, coming down. You can try to touch the toes if you like. And then from here, let's draw the knees in towards the chest. And then let's place the soles of the feet on the ground, pretty far apart, maybe match width distance, and let the knees knock in towards each other. And we're going to do similar motions, but a little bit less high intensity. Do you want to use this one?
So again, we're going to just use the upper abdominal muscles to just lift the upper back and head off of the mat. And again, we're just going to reach down side to side. So these are like little oblique crunches, if you will. Just reaching down, reaching down. And then let's come back to center. You can just sort of take the knees in a little bit and rock them if you want, just to release any tension. And then we're going to let the feet touch, let the knees come out wide like this. Interlace the fingers again, point the two pointer fingers straight ahead. Again, we're going to inhale to come just a little off of the head and upper back using the upper abdominal muscles to achieve this and not the neck muscles. Exhale, coming down. Do that a few times, inhaling up. Exhaling down. And maybe on the last one, we're going to come up, inhale, exhale again, and inhale again. And then on the exhale, we'll come all the way down.
from here, let's do this. Let's take our knees right above our feet, and these are about hips width distance apart. So neither real wide like this or real wide like that. What's that?
Bicycle.
No, I want to do the twisting before bicycling. I
That's
think.
good. That's good.
I just feel like the time has come for some official twisting. So it's as if we're about to get into a supine spinal twist. Let's take the arms out into a T. As I said before, my knees come straight down from the hips, and my feet are about hips width distance apart. I'm just kind of guesstimating here. And let's let the knees rock side to side, back and forth. You can keep them on top of each other so the top foot comes off of the ground. And we're just going to massage out the low back here for a second. Kind of a looser, gentler one from this series of ab exercises, which was taught to us by our teacher, Teo. Brian likes to call this series the ab annihilator, but we're trying to be somewhat less annihilating on you today. And then let's take it into the annihilation level. It's up to you how annihilating you want it to be. You can either have legs like this at the two right angles again, so that would be hips right above, or hips right below knees, and then ankles coming straight out from knees. So you can either do it like this, side to side, or if you really wish to annihilate yourself today, and it's up to you. There's no requirement of self-annihilation. You can straighten the legs and do it like that. This is actually not a traditional yoga move at all. This is an army calisthenic that my father taught me. So this is totally optional. Yogi's choice, whether they wish to go this deep with their abs. But when you're ready, when you're ready, draw the knees back into the chest. You can put the hands behind the knees, or just kind of rock up and down on the spine a little bit. If the floor is really hard under your spine, feel free to rock on one side of the spine and then on the other side of the spine. So maybe twisting a little as you rock. And then, now we'll bicycle. Will you teach us bicycling?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we'll do some simple bicycles first, and then we'll add in a twist if you want to get a little more elaborate with it. So the idea is we're going to interlace our fingers, bring our hands into the, bring our head into our little hand basket here. And you can even start with your head on the ground at first here. So just make it very relaxed, and we'll bring the legs out into a 90-degree angle. And then just take the feet like you're pedaling a bicycle. So this is the simple, easy version of bicycle. If you want a little extra abdominal test,
Test your abdominal, because you know you will fail.
You can come up off your head. You can come up off the your upper back, but really let the neck relax into the hands, so there's no tension in the neck. Now, if you want to add a little extra to this, you can straighten the far leg as you bring the one leg towards you. You can take the opposite elbow and go towards you. So it's like this. Gets a little more challenging that way.
You won't fail the test.
No, failing the abdominal test. And then
everybody got an A+.
Keep doing it as long as you want. When you're ready to come out of it, we'll just bring the knees into the chest and then just rock side to side. And then we'll bring the feet to the earth, knees up, and continue just dropping. Now drop the knees side to side. Yes. This should release any tension in the lower back. Also, feel free here to turn your head side to side as well, especially if you put any tension in your neck while doing abdominal exercises. Okay, where are we going now?
Bridging. So yogi's choice at this point, if you're feeling annihilated already, feel free to give yourself a supported bridge, which means My feet are again an approximation of hips width distance. I lift up the hips and I place a block, either small, medium, or jumbo under my hips. And then here I am hanging out in my supported bridge. If you want to hang out here for a bit, that's fine. For the rest of us who maybe don't feel like we're fully annihilated yet, we're going to do a dynamic bridge kriya. So we're going to inhale the hips up, exhale the hips down. Inhale, hips come up. Exhale, hips come down. Inhaling, hips up. Exhaling, hips down. If you want to have something to do with your arms because you're feeling very arm-like these days, when we exhale the hips down, you can inhale the arms up above the head. Exhale, hips come down, arms come back down. Shoulders down here, that's a challenge. Exhale, hips come down, arms come down. Inhaling, hips up, arms up. Exhale, hips down, arms down. One more time. Inhaling, hips up, arms up. Exhaling, hips down, arms down. Now you could either do more bridging or give yourself that supported bridge right now, or if you really have not felt fully annihilated, there is always wheel. So we'll bend one elbow, sticking it straight up at the ceiling. My palm is face down under my shoulder. My fingers are pointing down towards my hips. Now I've done it with the other. I'm going to come to the crown of my head, preparing for wheel. And then I'm going to inhale up to wheel. Exhale, bend elbows and knees, not letting my head drop to the ground completely, but bringing it close. So inhaling up, exhaling down. Try to keep the knees tracking over the feet and not splaying out side to side. As you do this, and when you're ready, no hurry at all. We'll come all the way down, tucking the chin as we sort of fold our way back in this time. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Put the palms on top of the knees and draw little circles with the knees. So we're really grinding into that quadratus lumborum, small of the back. And then let's take those circles the other way, just for the sake of traditional yogic balancing. If you do it on one side, you gotta do the other. All right, and then when you're ready, we'll just rock off to one side, hang out here in the fetal position, thinking
What I've done.
that you're done and it's easy now, right? And we're actually gonna lay down on our bellies and keep doing abdominal exercises. So you thought you were done, but you're not. So from here, laying on my belly, I'm gonna take my arms out long. I have to move a little bit off mat for this. Anyone who tells you you have to have a mat to practice yoga is full of it. I don't take them seriously. So from here, I'm gonna inhale my right arm up, left leg up, exhale. Inhale, left arm up, right leg up, exhale. So these just are cross inhales, exhales, inhale, exhale. You can even have the arms and legs fairly wide here if you have the room for it. So your body's like a big V, and you're just lifting across it. You want to take some next one? It's slapping.
Oh, yeah.
You'll love it. It's
All
slapping.
Now we're going to come down and we're going to do something. We're going to come up off of the. It's like we're just going to use our core to bring ourselves up a little bit. You can take your hands out, maybe an inch off the ground, clap your hands together, and then flap your wings. See if you can clap hands behind you. And go forward, back. Great, you while you're at it. So I count off. 1. Good. Actually, it's quick fast 1. Anyway, you can come back down now. Just turn your head to one side. Relax for a minute. Shake out the hips.
Yeah, that feels good. I should mention,
If your hips are hurting from all this hip stuff, always feel free to take a folded up blanket and put it under your hips. That is a really nice way of making a hardwood floor less hard.
And then if you have your head turned in one direction, turn it to the other direction.
Nadi Bandha. So from here, we're gonna come up in the Sphinx. I'll show you a little bit more from the side. So Sphinx is where it's like a back bend, but my elbows are right under my shoulders here. And I'm opening up through the heart a bit. Lovely, Sphinx. And I don't want to be like this in my Sphinx. Look how sad I look. It's very sad. We want to be nice and long, chin tucked, heart open. And this is the subtle element of this really cool practice that Teo Semko taught us. So I'm going to inhale deeply, feeling my belly push against the ground as I inhale. Then I exhale completely. At the end of my exhale, I'm going to draw up the muscles right below the navel, about maybe 4 finger widths below the navel. So exhaling completely, drawing those muscles in. Now I'm going to inhale through the sides and back of my body. So instead of letting my belly push into the mat, I'm inhaling and expanding through the sides and back, still holding Nabi Bandha, holding that little lock right below the navel. Exhale. At the end of the exhale, re-engage Nabi Bandha, that little lock. Inhale through sides and back of the body. Growing wide, perhaps, at your inhale. And then exhale. Feel Nabi Bandha re-engage. Inhale. Loosen through the tail. Exhale. Re-engage Nabi Bandha. So I'm lifting my belly up, drawing it off the ground. If you're used to Ashtanga Yoga, then this practice would not be Nabi Bandha. This would be called Uddiyana Bandha. If you're used to practicing with us, Uddiyana Bandha is something totally different. Loosen through the hips if you can. And then from here, come to hands and knees. Will you do this one?
So coming to hands and knees, we're gonna inhale our right arm out and our left leg out. And just kind of hang there for a minute, see what muscles you need to engage to stabilize. If your left hip has started to peel open like this a little bit, try to point that left hip at the ground, so we're pointing both hips at the ground. Then we're gonna inhale, reach long out of both our arm, reach long with the arm and press out through the foot. Exhale, bring the knee to the elbow, fold in a little bit. Exhale, inhale, reaching. Exhale, folding. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. One more time. Reaching, folding, and then just you can come back to the tabletop. Do the same thing on the other side. So just take a second. Yes, you can shake it out if you need to.
Let's do it. Let's do
You can do some even
Just wag your tail.
and you can do some shoulder rolls. It looks kind of crazy in
Oh yeah, that's good.
but do some shoulder rolls here, even in your tabletop, and see if you can even roll the other way.
It's almost like a heart roll or a rib cage roll.
Then this time we're
And
gonna
then
take
wag the tail.
the left arm out and right leg out. And stabilize there. Take a few breaths here, just finding your balance. And then we'll inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling. Exhaling. One last time, inhale and exhale. We'll just come right back down. Tabletop. Let us
Let's come into
back into
child's
child's
pose.
pose.
Yeah.
So if you want more of a hip opener, take the knees kind of wide. If you want more of a, I recommend for this practice, keeping the knees kind of close together and then folding over them, and you'll get more of a spinal stretch, and especially for the low back here.
And as you breathe here in child's pose, of course, feel your belly push into your thighs as you inhale, but also see if you can feel your upper chest and maybe even your shoulders kind of span out and wrap around your knees as you inhale as well. And then when you're ready, we'll just slide our way up to seated here in Vajrasana, Virasana, Vajrasana. One or the other. This is alternately known as Thunderbolt posture and Hero's posture. So we'll hang out here for just a second, abiding in the stillness after all of that movement.
7:50.
Great, God, just the way to get us out of this pickle. So I promised a smorgasbord of hip openers. As it is, we will just have a yogi's choice of hip openers. We've got 2 different choices here. And if you want to do both, we'll be in this for kind of a long time, so you could go from one into the other if you like. So first option is sit off to the side, draw the soles of the feet together, and you can have the knees as close, as bent as you need them to be here. If you like having the knees kind of open, that's fine too. No matter where you're at with your feet, whether they're real close to your hips or real far away. Let's bring our bodies forward a little bit and then sit back. And then maybe take the hands around each thigh so that the hand on the inside of the thigh pushes the skin down, the hand on the outside of the thigh pulls the skin up. We'll do that on the other leg. So we're opening up the hips here, setting up for a nice forward fold. If you want to do this seated on a blanket or 2, that's totally fine as well. Just make sure that the feet aren't on the blanket. So from here, we'll slowly fold forward, coming down as low as you want to. You can even take one of your blocks, rest it under your head like this, and just work your way down. If you're one of these people who really loves to do this with legs open, like this, same thing. Take hands on either side of the leg, turn the flesh in and down, so hips are open. Same thing, folding forward, head on the block, or whatever it is, as you keep the spine as long as possible coming forward from here. So that's an option 2, but there is also the really intense psoas opener for all of you who wish to have that. So we were sitting here in Hero's posture, Virasana, Vajrasana, whatever this posture is called. And you can either start walking your way back into a somewhat reclined Hero's posture. Blocks are very helpful here. Perhaps you want 2 blocks, one low and one high. And you can rest, there we go. You can rest your mid back on the low one and your head on the higher up one, like this. Feet are still tucked under me and my knees are coming together. Or, and you can come all the way down if that's easy for you too, and you have really, really open psoas muscles in the front of the thighs here and really healthy and happy knees. Another option is saddle. So 4 options here. Cobbler's pose, which Brian is doing. Cobbler's pose with the legs open, which I showed earlier. Reclined hero or saddle. So saddle, real quick to show you from behind. This is what saddle looks like from behind. My toes are coming together and then my hips are sitting down right in the arches of my feet here. From here, I walk myself back into a reclined posture. So knees are wide here. Here I am in saddle. This is something that may be available to you, it may not. Pick whichever hip opener you think feels the most like you today. And even if it doesn't, you can transfer yourself into another hip opener if you like. We're gonna be here for another 10, 15 breaths or so. So take your time and find your comfort. And then when you're ready, make your way onto your back. If you're in cobbler's pose, you can draw the knees slowly together. And then slowly bring yourself down to your back. You can keep your knees bent, soles of the feet flat on the ground. If you're in reclined hero or reclined saddle, feel free to press on the soles of your feet, particularly if you're in reclined hero like me. Bend the elbows, walk your way up, place the hands on one side of the body, let the hips rock off the feet. Bring yourself back down to the mat. Also keeping the knees bent, soles of the feet flat on the ground. We're going to take the arms out into a T. And we're going to lift the knees up towards the chest, bump the hips off to the right just a little bit, and then let the knees fall to the left, looking over the right shoulder here. If you'd like to take that right leg and cross it over the left leg, you can do that to help you get deeper into your twist. Just make sure to keep your right shoulder tracking towards the ground. A block here under the knees might be helpful as well. So just a gentle twist for a winter season practice. This is the time of year for twisting and intentional movement. It can be intense, intentional movement, but move with intent. Be aware of your body and what it wants to do and what it doesn't want to do as we deal with maintaining homeostasis in colder weather. And then when you're ready, knees can come back up. Center the hips on the mat again. This time, draw the knees up towards the chest, arms still out in T. Bump the hips off to the left a little bit, and then let the knees fall to the right. If you wish to cross the left knee over the right, you can do that. If you wish to rest the knees on a block, you can do that. And then look over your left shoulder, making sure to keep both shoulders on the ground. You might even need to lift up through your right shoulder a little bit to get the left shoulder down. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, let's bring ourselves back to center. Any other movements that you need before your final relaxation? Take them. You might be putting socks on. You might be grabbing a blanket and covering up with that. You might be doing a headstand or a handstand or any very exciting movement that we didn't get around to today, but never you fear, we will one day. And the last thing I would recommend is that if you are wearing glasses, take them off, put them somewhere safe to the side where you're not gonna roll over on them and crush them. And then once you're in a comfy position, feel free to tuck the tail a little bit, so to lengthen the lumbar spine. Tuck the chin just a little bit to lengthen the cervical spine. And then lift up through the heart and chest, tucking the shoulder blades towards each other, and then lower them back down onto the mat or the ground. And let your breathing become smooth and easy and weightless. And when you're ready, if you're ready, bring some life back to the body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes, rolling through the wrists and the ankles. We'll take the palms back to the belly again and just gently rub the belly in a clockwise direction. If 12 o'clock is at the pubic bone, 6 o'clock is at the sternum. So we're rubbing up the right side, across the body, down the left side, with the flow of digestion, helping us to digest this really memorable year that is coming to a close. And then when you're ready, you can reach your arms long above your head. Draw the legs together, stretching long. And then rolling off to one side or the other, resting in a fetal position for just a second. Honoring your body, honoring your practice. And when you're ready, we'll push down on one hand, then the other. To draw us back up towards seated. You can take the time to sit up on a blanket if you like. And to seal our practice, we'll just do a few rounds of prana mudra, the gesture of life force. Inhaling the arms out wide and up. Exhaling, pushing down. Inhaling, arms wide and up. Exhaling, pushing down. And then last time, we'll inhale the arms out wide and up. Draw the palms together and bring them down right in front of the chest. And if you want to join us in Om, you're more than welcome. Inhaling deeply. Thank you much.
You stopped recording, not the meeting.